we're going to start in a seated position, Sukhasana if you like, with your legs crossed, or any seat that feels really good and just lets you sit up nice and tall and get comfortable. And just give yourself a second to get there. Take a little time to wiggle into your seat. If you like to, close your eyes down. And then just take a moment here to breathe. And as you give your mind and your body a second just to come to your mat and settle in, notice if there's any thoughts that you carried with you onto your mat. If your mind is still chugging ahead, got stuff to think about or to-do list in front of you, take a second to notice it, acknowledge it, assess it. And if there's anything that you can set down for a moment, knowing that all of that stuff will still be there when you're done with your practice, take a moment to do that. And then take a moment here to set an intention to honor your mind throughout your practice. Offering up a little kindness towards your thoughts and just letting go of anything you don't need right now that won't serve you through your practice. And then with that intention set, shift your focus over to your physical body and start by just noticing your seat connected to the floor or the ground beneath you. Maybe get a sense of that solidness underneath your bum. Notice any parts in the backs of your legs or your feet that are touching the ground. And then notice how that solid foundation allows the top part of your legs to soften and relax towards the earth. Notice if there's any parts of your body that are calling attention to them, wanting a little extra love and care. And with an idea of how your body is physically feeling, take a moment here to set an intention to honor your body throughout your practice. Never doing anything in your practice that would cause your body pain, and treating yourself with love, care, and respect. And then with that intention set, see if you can just shift your focus to your breath and just start to notice as you've started to slow down and settle in, notice the rhythm of your breath here. And then notice your depth of breath. So you might have slowed your breath down, but how deep is your breath? Can you take a nice, generous inhale and just allow your lungs to fill up with air? And then a slow but natural exhale. So no need to force the air out, but allow it to slow down. And then as soon as all that air goes, take another big inhale, allow your lungs to fill all the way up. And then a slow but natural exhale. Right at the end of that exhalation, inhale, fill your lungs up, nice, big, giant breath. And a slow but natural exhale. Take an inhale, fill up your lungs with air. big giant breath. And then at the end of that inhalation, can you just retain the breath for a moment? And then without gasping or anything like that, but just allow the air to exit naturally. And then right at the end of that exhale, inhale, fill up with air, fill your lungs up. And then once you feel like your lungs are filled up, hold or retain that breath just for a moment. And then when you feel good and ready, exhale, let all that air go. And take one more breath here. Inhale, fill your lungs up, nice big full breath. At the end of that inhalation, hold or retain the breath just as long as feels right. And then when you feel ready, nice slow and natural exhale. Nice. And then take a second to just kind of wiggle around in your seat just to make sure you're still staying nice and comfortable. And we're going to take it right into the shoulders. So as you inhale, your shoulders are just going to gently lift up towards your ears. And exhale, let your shoulders soften down. Inhale and let your shoulders lift. Exhale, let your shoulders soften down. And one more just like that. Inhale, let your shoulders lift. Exhale, let your shoulders soften down. And now we're going to take the left hand out, just straight out from the shoulder. And then palm facing down, we're going to draw the fingertips up, drop your ear towards your shoulder or towards those fingers. And then fingertips are going to drop down and you're going to drop your ear away. Lift the fingertips up, drop your ear in. Fingertips down and ear drops away. One more just like that. Fingertips lift, ear drops in. Fingertips down, ear drops away. And then bring your head to neutral, float that hand down, and we're going to take it to the other side. So extend your right arm out, palm facing down, fingertips up, ear drops in. Fingertips down, ear drops away. Fingertips up, ear drops in. Fingertips down, ear drops away. Awesome. One more just like that. Fingertips up, ear drops in. Fingertips down, ear drops away. Head to neutral, hand to neutral, float your hands down, and then roll your shoulders around, down and back. And then we'll move right into a seated cat and cow as you inhale, lift your chin, lift your chest, arch your back. Exhale and round your back. Inhale to lift your heart, squeeze your shoulder blades, lift your chin. Exhale, think about pulling abdominal muscles in. Nice big rounding of the back. Take a second there just to pause, notice that space between your shoulders. And then when you're ready, inhale, lift your heart, lift your chin, lift your chest. Exhale and round your back. Beautiful. Take 2 more cycles of breath here. Just move with your breath's rhythm. Awesome. And then when you're ready, find a nice neutral spine. Left hand's going to touch the ground. Right hand's going to reach up. Take a nice gentle side bend. Take a moment here to come back to your breath. See if you can take that nice full inhalation. Fill your lungs up. Beautiful. And then on your next inhale, lift yourself up, float your hand down, take it to the other side. Find that nice gentle side bend. And then on your next inhalation, allow a nice full deep breath. Let your lungs fill up. Nice. And then on your next inhale, lift yourself up and we'll take it right into a seated twist. Right hand's going to find the left knee, left hand behind you. Take one more breath. And then when you're ready, unwind, take it to the other side. Take one more breath. And then when you're ready, unwind and come back to center into your easy seated forward fold. So we're just going to walk yourself forward just as far as you like, just to a point where you feel maybe a nice little stretch in the low back. You might notice a stretch in the outer edges of your hip. You might notice a little stretch through the top of your quads. Just want to make sure that there's no shooting sensation in the knees and no zinging sensation in the low back. So make sure it feels like a comfortable position to be in. Take a nice big breath. Nice slow breath out. Pull your abdominal muscles in, round through your back. Nice and easy. Swim your hands behind your back with tall fingers. Squeeze your shoulder blades. Lift your chest. Take a gentle back bend. Lift your chin up. And then release. Lean back into your sits bones. Switch the cross in your legs. And we're coming right back to that easy seated forward fold. So give a second just to make sure your seat feels comfortable. And then when you feel good, walk yourself forward just to the point that feels like a good sensation. Check your knees. Check your hips. Check your back. Nice. And then when you're ready, rounding through the spine, pull the abdominal muscles in, round back, hands behind you, tall fingers, squeeze the shoulder blades, lift your chest, lift your chin. Nice. And then when you're ready, release your spine, but lean back into your sits bones. We're just going to take our legs right into a cobbler's position or butterfly pose. So soles of the feet together, knees out to the left and to the right. And your diamond shape can have any variation that you like. So it might be close, it might be far away. So just take a second to find a position that feels good. And then we're just going to start with a little tiny bounce of the knees. Tune in and notice the inner thigh muscles and the muscles up towards the groin. And just check in and see how they're feeling there. Awesome. Take one more little bounce to the knees, and then we're just going to let the knees get heavy. Thumbs are going to come to the insteps of the feet, and then we're going to peel the feet open like a book. So we're going to keep the blade edges of our feet together, and then just pull the big toe part apart away from each other. So blade edges of the feet stick together, big toes pull apart. And then once you found that position, just pause for a moment, close your eyes down, notice your thumbs connected to your feet. Take a nice big breath. Awesome. And then open your eyes, release your thumbs, grab hold of the outsides of your knees, pull them together, and we're going to spin ourselves around into a tabletop position. So take your time as you come onto all fours. Give yourself a moment to get yourself situated. If you need to double stack your mat or do any of those nice little self-care things so that your knees and your wrists feel good, take the time to do that. And then once you find your tabletop position, spread your fingers wide, index fingers pointing towards the top of the mat. And then we're going to bring it right up into the shoulders and the shoulder blades. So we're going to start by just kind of slumping into our posture, even allow your belly to drop just a little bit. And then with the shoulders slumped down, firm your belly up, but keep your shoulders in that kind of slumpy position. And then we're going to activate the shoulders. So press into the palms, broaden the shoulders like you're pushing your shoulders up towards the ceiling. And then keeping that firmness in the belly, just let your chest drop down. So we get a little squeeze in the shoulder blades. And then do that again. Push into the palms, broaden your shoulders like you're pushing your shoulder blades up towards the ceiling. And then let your chest drop down towards the floor and get that little squeeze in the shoulder blades. And one more time, just like that. Broaden your shoulders, push away. Beautiful. And then bring it into a more neutral spine and right into puppy pose. So hips are going to stay in line with the knees. Walk your hands towards the top edge of your mat. Let your chest and your forehead melt down. And take a couple nice deep breaths here. Take one more breath. And then when you're ready, slowly start to bring it back into your tabletop position. Curl both sets of toes under, take a few rocks forward and back, stretching through the toes and the bottoms of the feet. But if you can, once you've got that sort of in an automated position, so your toes and your feet are getting stretched, can you tune in and notice your knees and the tops of your thighs? Are your knees and your tops of your thighs feeling tight this morning? Because we're going to do a couple little stretches, especially towards the end of the practice. So we just want to make sure that we start to find a little length through the tops of the thighs and just make sure your knees are feeling good. Nice. The next time you pull your butt back to your heels, stay there just for an extra breath. Maybe press into your palms, get that bigger stretch through the bottoms of the feet. Nice big inhale. Awesome. And then lift yourself back into a tabletop position. Release your toes. And now we're going to take it into the abdomen or into those abdominal muscles. So take a nice big inhale here. As you exhale, at the end of your exhale, you're going to suck your abdominal muscles in. So you're going to get that hollow belly sensation, really pulling those abdominal muscles in. Hold it just as long as you can, and then release and let it soften. And we want to let that softness come in sort of a natural way. So we don't want to gasp for air and let it all inflate really fast, but we want to control that release as well. So inhale, take a nice big breath. Exhale, and then at the end of your exhalation, suck the abdominal muscles in. Hold it just as long as you can. And then when you're ready, release it with control and then take a nice big inhale. Exhale. At the end of your exhale, suck those abdominal muscles in. Hold it just as long as you can. And then without gasping, gently release the muscles and then take your inhalation. Exhale. At the end of your exhale, suck those abdominal muscles in. Hold it just as long as you can. Release it with control. And then inhale. Beautiful. One more time, just like that. Exhale. At the end of your exhale, suck the abdominal muscles in. Hold it just as long as you can. And then when you're ready, release with control. Inhale and take a nice big breath. Nice. And then move right into a cat and cow. Inhale, drop your belly, lift your chest, lift your tail. Exhale and round your back. Inhale, drop your belly. Exhale to round your back. Beautiful. One more time, just like that. Inhale, drop your belly. Exhale to round your back. Nice. And then find a neutral spine. We're going to walk the knees a little closer to each other, big toes together. And then we're just going to keep this position for a second and play around with the feet. So heels together, like you're doing a little heel click, and then move your heels away from each other, like you're making a little V or a little seat for your butt to sit back into. Bring your heels together and then move your heels away. Big toes are going to stay touching if you can. Bring the heels together, move the heels away. One more time, just like that. Bring the heels together and then move the heels away. So big toes together, heels make that little seat. And now we're going to push the butt back towards the heel. So we find that little groove, that little seat that our butt can sit in. And then just take a second to check in. If you need to rearrange your knees or rearrange your heels so that it feels like a good position to be in, go ahead and do that. And then if you can, walk yourself on back, sit up nice and tall. And then just do a little check-in. This can be intense on the knees. So if you need to lift off at any point, do what feels right to you. If you can, interlace your fingers here. We're going to press the palms down towards the knees. Let the hands just rest kind of comfortably on the thighs. Soften your shoulders down. Take a nice big inhale. Nice slow exhale. Awesome. And then keeping our hands in that interlaced position, keeping yourself in this thunderbolt or hero pose if you like. You're just going to take a couple little tick-tocks of the head side to side. So let one ear drop to the shoulder and then the other. Awesome. Take one more tick-tock of your head side to side, or even yourself out. And then as you bring your head back to center, pull those fingers apart, give your fingers a little wiggle, and then we're going to lift back up into our tabletop position, and then walk your knees back out so that they're in line with the hips. From here, curl both sets of toes under, pull your butt back towards your heels, and we're going to slowly peel our way up into a downward facing dog. So maybe just start by feeling your toes connected to the floor, peel your knees up, get a little hover, a little lift, and then slowly and mindfully send your bum up towards the ceiling. And then once you found your way up into that upside down V shape, start to pedal out the legs. Bend one knee and press into the opposite heel. Now here, start to notice how do the backs of your legs feel? How do your wrists feel? How do your shoulders feel? Nice. Take one more little pedal of each leg or even yourself out. And then we're going to move ourselves forward into a plank position. So you're going to start to move your shoulders so that they come in line with the wrist or maybe slightly forward of the wrist. And then you might need to rearrange your feet just a little bit. Find that plank, nice broadness in the shoulders, a nice firmness in your abdomen. And then when you feel good and ready, we're going to release the knees down and slowly lower onto the belly. So lower down with control. Beautiful. And then rearrange your hands just into a comfortable position so you can kind of wiggle everything out. Wiggle out your shoulders, wiggle out your bum, wiggle out your heels. And now we're going to bend both knees and just swish the heels a little side to side, inviting a little softness into the low back and maybe a light massaging into your quadriceps. So just maybe tune in and notice the tops of your thighs. Awesome. Take one more little swish the heels side to side, and then we're going to keep the knees bent, bring the heels to center, and then just take your right foot, twirl your right foot in circles, go in one direction, and then twirl your right foot in circles, go the other way. Nice. And then let your right foot come to stillness, twirl your left foot in circles, go in one direction, and then twirl your left foot in circles, go the other way. Awesome. And then let that left foot come to stillness. Now, we're going to keep both knees bent, but just reach your right hand back. See if you can touch your right foot and then release. And then take it to the other side. Reach your left hand back and see if you can just touch your left foot and then release. Beautiful. Float both feet down to the ground. And we're going to take 3 low cobras here. Hands alongside the shoulders, elbows soften at your ribs. As you inhale, gently lift your heart. Just go as high as feels good. And then exhale, lower down. Inhale and lift up. Exhale and lower down. Awesome. One more time. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, lower down. Beautiful. Push your way up through a tabletop position to extended child's pose. Big toes together, knees out nice and wide to the outer edges of your mat. Bring your butt back to your heels. Let your belly, your chest, your forehead melt down, and take 3 nice big breaths here. On your next inhale, lift up to that tabletop position. Swing your toes out to meet your knees so that we get that wide position down at our base. Left hand's going to come underneath the nose. Right hand's going to reach up for a little twist. Beautiful. And then bring that right hand down underneath your nose. Left hand's going to reach up for a little twist. Awesome. Left hand down, both hands out nice and wide to the outer edges of the mat. Wide downward facing dog. Curl your toes under. On an exhale, lift up nice and high. Super. And then we're going to walk our hands back to meet our feet. So we're going to come to a wide position in the back side of our mat. So walk your hands back, stay in a little bit of a folded position. Maybe take a little sway side to side, a little mini side lunges here, just tuning in, noticing how your knees feel here. How do your quads feel here? And then when you're ready, bend both knees, pull your abdominal muscles in, roll up to a standing position. Take your time as you come on up. And then we're going to step the feet into an external rotation. So toes out to the left and to the right. So your heels might be on the outer edges of your mat. Take a nice big breath, reach your arms up. And as you exhale, take it right into a goddess squat. Sink your butt down, elbows come down in that cactus or goalpost position. Beautiful. Inhale, reach up, a little 5-pointed star. Exhale, sink into your goddess squat. Inhale and reach up. Exhale, sink down and stay here. And then just think about drawing those knees energetically towards the pinky toes. So inner thighs are engaged, legs are nice and strong, shoulders are nice and strong, heart is slightly lifted. Take a nice big inhale. Nice slow exhale. Beautiful. On your next inhale, lift up, 5-pointed star. We're going to pivot the feet. So toes pointing forward, heels pointing back, and a little hinge from the waist as you reach forward. Soften your knees when you come to that midpoint, hands come down to the ground, and then we'll walk forward, finding our way into downward facing dog. So hands walk forward, feet walk in. Maybe take a pedal or 2 of the legs here. And then when you're ready, look forward, walk your feet up to meet your hands, come to a little ragdoll fold at the top of your mat. Feet about hip or shoulder width distance apart. Make a little space for your belly, make a little space for your chest. Let your head hang nice and heavy here through 3 nice big breaths. Staying in this lightly folded position, but make your cupcake hands or your piano fingers so nice tall fingers to help support our stance. Shift your weight slightly onto your left foot, and we're just going to bend the right knee, pull that right heel toward your butt, get a little squeeze in the hamstring muscle. Nice. And then release that foot down, shift your weight over onto your right foot, pick your left heel up, squeeze that heel in toward your bum. Beautiful. And then release. Both feet on the ground, bend both knees a lot, pull your abdominal muscles in, roll up to a standing position. Roll your shoulders around, down and back, and then just give yourself a second to get situated at the top of your mat, finding your mountain pose. Toes and knees pointing fairly forward, feet about hip or shoulder width distance apart, hands down at your sides, palms facing forward or palms facing in, whatever feels more natural in your shoulders. So take a second to find that nice, energetic, lifted stance, lifting up through the crown of your head, shoulders are softened down. And then just take a moment here to tune back into your breath. Can you take that nice, full, deep inhalation, filling your lungs up? And a slow but natural exhale. 2 more cycles of breath here. Beautiful. Staying with that nice, tall, lifted position. On your inhale, you're just going to lift your heels up away from the floor. You lift them just as high as you like, just to the point that you can control. And then exhale, float your heels back down to the ground. Inhale and lift your heels up. Exhale, float your heels down. One more just like that. Inhale, lift your heels up. Exhale, float your heels down. Nice. On your next inhale, reach up, grab that imaginary beach ball above your head. Exhale, sink into a little chair. Inhale, rise up. Keep your arms up and overhead. Exhale, sink into your little chair. Inhale and rise up. Exhale and sink down. Inhale and rise up. Exhale, sink down, and we're going to stay here. We're going to swim the hands back so they're reaching alongside your hips, a little energy through the fingers. Your gaze is forward but slightly down, so your head and your neck is in line with the spine. And then once you feel like you've found all of that, we're going to lift the heels 3 times. So inhale, lift your heels up away from the floor just as much as you can control. Exhale, float your heels down. Inhale and lift your heels up. Exhale to float your heels down. One more time, just like that. Inhale, lift your heels up. Exhale, float your heels down. Inhale, reach your arms up and overhead. As you exhale, bend your knees, hinge from your waist, fold all the way down to the ground. Beautiful. Inhale to a half forward fold. Exhale to soften all the way down, bend your knees, pull your abdominal muscles in, roll up to a standing position, roll your shoulders all the way up to your ears, around, down, and back. Nice. Pause just for a moment in your mountain pose. Notice your breath again. Nice big inhale. And a slow but natural exhale. Beautiful. When you're ready, inhale, arms up and look up. Exhale, bend your knees, hinge at your waist, fold down to the ground. Inhale to a half forward fold. Exhale to soften down, step the right leg back, low lunge. Knees gonna come down to the ground, toes tucked or released, totally up to you. Inhale, lift your arms up or just hands to the knee. Beautiful. Exhale, float your hands down. We're gonna step the front foot back to downward facing dog. So lift that back knee, slide that front foot back. Awesome. And then we're going to come forward into a planking position. And then right away, knees, chest, chin. Bring your knees down, lower your chest and chin, scoop forward into a low cobra. Nice. And then through tabletop or up to downward facing dog, whatever gets you there. Right leg comes up nice and high into a 3-legged dog. We're going to step that foot through to the top of the mat into a low lunge. So step it as far as it goes. Help it along the rest of the way. Drop that back knee down. Back toes tucked or released, totally up to you. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, float your hands down, frame your front foot. We're gonna pick that back knee up and then step that back foot forward into your forward fold. Inhale to half forward fold. Exhale to soften down, press firm into your feet. Inhale, sweep your arms up and overhead. Hands to heart center. Hands down at your sides. Inhale, arms up and look up. Exhale, bend your knees and fold. Inhale to half forward fold. Exhale to soften down. Left leg back, low lunge. Bring the knee down, toes tucked or released, totally up to you. Hand to your knee or just inhale, lift your heart up. Beautiful. Float those hands down, curl the back toes under, pick up your back knee, step that front foot to back to downward facing dog. Nice, and then the left leg is gonna come up nice and high. 3-legged dog, step that foot through to the top of your mat. Help it along if you need to, and then drop that back knee down, toes tucked or released, totally up to you. Hand to the knee or just lift yourself up. Beautiful, and then float those hands down. We're gonna pick that back knee up, step that back foot up into forward fold. Inhale to half forward fold. Exhale to soften down. Press firm into your feet. Inhale, sweep your arms up and overhead. Hands to heart center. Hands down at your sides. And as it is the halfway mark, if you have to get on with the rest of your day, I hope that it's amazing. But if you're sticking around, we're going to keep on going. So find your mountain pose at the top of your mat. Inhale, we're going to reach up, grab that beach ball above your head. Exhale, sink into a little chair. Swim your hands down so that they're reaching alongside the hips. Lengthen through the back of your neck. Pick up your heels and hover here. If you can, hold it for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release your heels. Inhale, reach your arms up and overhead. Exhale, fold everything down. Inhale to a half forward fold. Exhale to soften down. Bend your knees a lot. Pull your abdominal muscles in. Roll up to a standing position. Roll your shoulders up to your ears, around, down, and back, and then swim your hands behind your back. Interlace your fingers here. Draw the knuckles down. Shoulder blades squeeze together. Heart opens up just a little bit. Lift your chin up to the sky. Nice. And then release your hands. Come back to your mountain pose. Inhale, arms up and look up. Exhale and fold everything down. Knees bent or straight, totally up to you. Inhale to a half forward fold. Exhale to soften down. Step the right leg back, low lunge. Bring the knee down, toes tucked or released, up to you. Inhale, lift your arms up. Beautiful. Exhale, float those arms down. Curl the back toes under. Pick that back knee up. Step back to downward facing dog. Come forward into your planking position. And then right away, lower with control. Knees down or chaturanga, totally up to you. Lifting up into a cobra, the height that you like. Inhale as you lift up. Exhale to lower down. Push your way up to a table or up to downward facing dog, whichever feels good to you there. Right leg up nice and high, 3-legged dog. Step that foot through to the top of your mat and into a low lunge. Help that leg come up as much as you need, and then bring that back knee down, toes tucked or released, up to you. Inhale, arms up. Beautiful. Exhale, float the hands down, curl the back toes under, pick that back knee up, step that back foot up into your forward fold. Inhale to a half forward fold. Exhale to soften down, press firm into your feet. Inhale, sweep your arms up. Hands to heart center. Hands down at your sides. Inhale, arms up and look up. Exhale and fold. Inhale to half forward fold. Exhale to soften down, left leg back, low lunge. Bring the knee down. Inhale, lift your arms up. Exhale, float your hands down. Pick that back knee up. Step that front leg back to downward facing dog. Come forward into a planking position and then release with control. You can chaturanga or just lower down with control. Inhaling up to a cobra just as high as you like. Exhale to release, finding your way up to downward facing dog. Left leg up nice and high into 3-legged dog. Step that foot through to the top of your mat, finding your low lunge again. Bringing that back knee down, toes tucked or release, whatever you like. Inhale, raise your arms up. Exhale, float your arms down, pick up that back knee and step that back foot up into your forward fold. Inhale to a half forward fold. Exhale to soften down, press firm into your feet. Inhale, sweep your arms up and overhead. Hands to heart center, hands down at your sides. Take a second to fix yourself up. Make sure you're feeling good and comfortable at the top of your mat. Find your mountain pose again. Inhale, reach up, grab that beach ball. Exhale, sink into your chair. Beautiful. This time we're going to keep our arms up overhead, but if it feels like it's pinching in the low back, always an option to bring it out straight from the chest. You're going to make sure your back feels comfortable. Shift your weight over to your left foot, and we're just going to pick the right knee up. See if you can find a little balance there. Awesome. And when you're ready, release that right foot down, shift your weight onto your right foot, pick your left knee up. See if you can find a little balance there. Beautiful. And then when you're ready, release that left foot down, inhale to lift up, exhale to fold everything down. Inhale to a half forward fold. Exhale to soften down, step both feet back to down dog. Nice, and then when you're ready, float forward into a planking position, bring the knees down, lower with control onto your belly. Give a second to just wiggle out your bum, wiggle out your shoulders. We're gonna bend the right knee, heel's gonna come in nice and close to your butt. Reach your right hand back, see if you can catch hold of that foot. Hug it in with a little squeeze, so you're bringing the heel a little closer to your bum, or maybe slightly to the outside of your right hip. Take one more breath. And then when you're ready, release that foot with control and take it to the other side. Bend your left knee, reach your left hand back, see if you can catch hold of that foot, hug that heel in. One more breath. Nice, and then when you're ready, release that foot with control, right into our Drunken Serpent. So hands to the outer edges of your mat or off of your side of your mat, nice tall cupcake hands. Inhale, lift your heart up nice and high. Exhale to lower down. Right shoulder up and back. As you inhale, lift your right shoulder and look over. Exhale to lower down. Take it to the left. Inhale, lift and look over. Exhale to lower down. Beautiful, back to center. Inhale, lift your heart nice and high. Exhale to lower down. Awesome, slide your hands in, push your way up into a tabletop position, and we're gonna move right into a frog, but we're not gonna stay too terribly long. So if you like, just start to step your knees out to a wide position, just to the point that you feel a little sensation in the inner thigh and the groin. And then if it feels available, for me, I'm on the carpet, my knees will just slide and I can go to the depth. But if it feels good, you're gonna bring your elbows and forearms down, take a nice big inhale. As you exhale, can you soften your inner thighs just a little bit? Take one more breath. Beautiful, and then firm up that space between your shoulder blades. Slowly and mindfully walk your knees back in, walk your way back up into a tabletop position, curl your toes under, exhale up to downward facing dog. Look forward, walk your feet up to meet your hands, come to forward fold at the top of your mat. Inhale to a half forward fold. Exhale to soften down, press firm into your feet. Inhale, sweep your arms up and overhead. Hands to heart center, hands down at your sides. Inhale, arms up and look up. Exhale and fold. Inhale to a half forward fold. Exhale, soften down, right leg back, low lunge. Bring the knee down. When you're ready, inhale, reach your arms up. Beautiful. Exhale, float your hands down, pick up that back knee, step the front foot back to down dog. Coming forward into our planking position and then lower knees, chest, chin. So bring the knees down, lower the chest and chin, scoop forward into your cobra. Exhale up to down dog. Right leg up into three-legged dog. This time we're gonna bend the knee, let the hip roll open, take one good breath. And then step that foot through to the top of your mat, low lunge to the other side, bringing that back knee down, back toes tucked or released, totally up to you. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale, float the hands down, curl the back toes under, pick up that back knee, step that back foot up into your forward fold. Inhale to half forward fold. Exhale to soften down, press firm into your feet. Inhale, sweep your arms up and overhead. Hands to heart center, hands down at your sides. Inhale, arms up and look up. Exhale and fold. Inhale to half forward fold. Exhale to soften down, left leg back, low lunge. Bring the knee down, toes tucked or released, your choice. Inhale, raise your arms up. Beautiful. As you exhale, float your hands down, curl the back toes under, pick your back knee up, step your front foot back to down dog. Come forward into your planking position, and then lower knees, chest, chin. Scoop forward into your cobra. Exhale up to down dog. Left leg up into three-legged dog, and if you like, bend the knee, let the hip roll open. Nice, and then step that foot through to the top of your mat, low lunge to the other side, bringing that back knee down, toes tucked or released, your choice. Inhale, raise your arms up. Beautiful, float those hands down, curl the back toes under, pick that back knee up, step up into your forward fold. Inhale to a half forward fold. Exhale to soften down, press firm into your feet. Inhale, sweep your arms up and overhead. Hands to heart center, hands down at your sides. We're going to swim the hands right behind the back. Interlace the fingers here, draw the knuckles down, squeeze the shoulder blades together, lift your chest, lift your chin, take a nice big breath. Nice, one more breath here. Beautiful. When you're ready, release, hands down at your sides. Give a second, shrug out your shoulders, wiggle out your fingers, and then find your mountain pose again. Nice and solid, feet touching the ground, lifting up through the crown of your head. Come back to your breath for a moment here. Take a nice big inhale. Nice slow exhale. Inhale and reach up, grab that beach ball above your head. Exhale, sink into your chair. Shift your weight onto your left foot, pick your right knee up. Step your right foot down, shift your weight onto your right foot, pick your left knee up. Step that foot down, swim your hands alongside your hips, gaze down and forward, lift your heels up away from the floor. Take one more breath. With control, release your heels down. Inhale, raise your arms up, straighten your legs. Exhale, hinge at your waist, fold all the way down to the ground. Down into a little ball of yarn. So we're going to pick up the heels, bend the knees, butt comes down to the heels, and then we're going to take a little balance here. So lift your fingers away from the floor. See if you've got balance, or if you need to readjust your toes or your feet, take a second to do that. And then if you feel like you've got a little balance, see if you can start to lift your chest away from your thighs, prayer hands together, get nice and tall through the crown of your head. And now just to find a little strength in the legs, you're just going to start to keep all of this position if you can, palms pressed together, elbows nice and active and wide. Lift your butt away from your heels. So legs are going to get a little bit more active and strong here. And see if you can hold that little bit of a hovering position. Take one good breath. Nice. And then when you're ready, relax your butt down, hands to the ground. Sit back onto your bum right into cobbler's pose, or that butterfly position. Soles of the feet together, knees out to the left and to the right. Thumbs to the insteps, peel your feet open like a book. Let your knees drop down nice and heavy. Take a nice big breath, get tall. And as you exhale, just lean your heart forward just as far as you like. Knees should feel comfortable. Maybe a sensation in the inner thighs or the outer edges of your hip, but just make sure there's no zinging in your low back. Take one more breath. Awesome. Lift through the crown of your head. Let your heart follow. Come up nice and slow. And then we're going to take the left leg, send it out nice and long, and then grab hold of the right leg. Start by just giving that leg a little rock side to side, little hand hold of the knee and the heel, rock that leg like a baby. And then we're going to bring that leg across into a little bit of a figure four position. But now we're going to take the opposite hand and place our fingers between the toes. So we're going to make our little toe separators like we're going for a pedicure, and just place those fingers in between the toes. Give a second. Sometimes the toes need a little convincing that this is what needs to be done. So give yourself a second to get your fingers between your toes. And then once you feel like you've got yourself there with a looseness in your ankle joint, let your hand do most of the work. Twirl your foot in circles, go in one direction. Beautiful. And then twirl your foot in circles, go the other way. Nice. And then let your foot come to a little bit of stillness. Take the thumb that's working the toes and just take that thumb and massage around the bottom of the foot, just to kind of encourage a little looseness, a little letting go in the muscle tissue at the bottom of the feet. Great. Take one more second here. Maybe even give your hand a little squeeze between those toes. And then we're going to slowly and mindfully release the fingers from between the toes. And then we're going to take our hands and do our little dish towel wring out. So you're going to take the top and bottom of your foot and just kind of twist and turn. Be mindful, be gentle, make sure you're not hurting yourself. But the foot is really giving. It will allow you to move in a lot of cool different ways. So take a little time to let it loosen up. And then just give it those little twists and turn, moving up towards the toes and then down towards the ankle. Beautiful. Take one more little twisty turn of the foot. And then if you picked up any of your yoga mat on your hands, brush them off real quick. And then a little stretch to the top of the foot and the ankle. So we're just going to gently push our fingers into the tops of the toes. Get a little stretch to the top of the foot and the ankles. Awesome. And then release that. And then that same maneuver, we're going to just do right up the calves and the shins. So you're going to give a little twist and turn up the calves and the shins, up towards the knee joint, and then back towards the ankle. Wonderful. Take one more little twisty turn up and down, and then grab hold of that knee, grab hold of that heel, lift it up nice and high towards the chest, give it a little rock side to side. And then if it's available, you're going to take that foot, bring it into your opposite elbow pit. So we're going to get a single hand hold if we can, make any adjustments that you need to your seat. And then your other hand is going to touch down to the ground and you're going to roll over onto that side and you're going to give some gentle rolls around on the hip. If you find any places that are really zinging you, stay off of them, maybe work adjacent to them, alongside of them, give a couple of good rolls, and then move on to a different spot. Nice. One more little rock side to side. And then as you come back up to center, gently and mindfully release that foot down. Take a second, bounce out your knees, wiggle out your ankles. And now we're going to take it to the other side. So grab your knee, grab your heel, rock that leg a little side to side. Awesome. And then place that leg across in a little bit of a figure four configuration. And then we're going to take the fingers and move them in between the toes. So take a little time here to find that little bit of space. Let your foot get on board, let your toes ease into it. And then once you feel like you've got it in place, let your hand do the work. Circle your foot in one direction. Nice. And then circle your foot the other way. Great. And then take the thumb that's working those fingers and just massage that thumb around the bottom of the foot, encouraging a little extra softness into the bottom of your foot. Awesome. Give one more little good work around and maybe give your fingers a little squeeze and then mindfully release. Release your fingers. Beautiful. And then we're just going to take our little dish rag ring out. So you're just going to kind of mush through the feet, giving a little twist and turn up towards the ankles, and then a little twisty turn down towards the toes. And be mindful, don't hurt yourself, but just find a little good massaging action, feeling that little gentle twist maneuver. So think about the way your feet walk, how they can move a little side to side. So just kind of get that sense of awareness of how your feet move. Awesome. Take one more little ring up and down, and then fingers to the tops of the toes, gently push the toes down, get that little stretch to the front of your ankle. Wonderful. And then when you're ready, release, brush off your hands if you need to. And then we're going to take it right up to the shins and the calves. So you're going to do that little dish rag wringing out maneuver. So we're just twisting and turning up and down the leg, up towards the knee, and then down towards the ankle. Awesome. Take one more time up and down. And then when you're ready, you're going to pick up that knee, pick up that heel, lift up nice and high. See if it's available to find a single hand hold. So maybe you put your foot into your opposite elbow pit or any other hand hold that just allows that leg to stay in a more lifted position with an external rotation. And once you've got your hand hold, hand down to the ground, And we're just going to roll a little bit around on that hip. Notice one side might feel totally different from the other. So just be mindful and aware. And then if you find any zinging spots, stay off of them, move a little alongside of them, invite a little softness in, and then move on to another place. Cool, we'll take one more little roll around. And then when you're ready, bring it in back to center, catching hold of the heel, catching hold of the knee, maybe give it one last good little rock. And then set that leg out nice and long, give everything a good little bounce. Wiggle out your toes, wiggle out your ankles, bounce out your knees. And then we're gonna start to find our way down to the ground. So with those knees bent, curl your tailbone under, roll your way down as slow and controlled as you can find. And then once you find your way down, give a second to get comfortable. Make sure your tailbone feels good, clothes are in a good position, hair feels good. Now we're gonna lift the left leg up, and we're just lifting it up to get it out of the way. And then pick your right leg up and bring it into a bit of a tabletop position with your knee bent. And now we're gonna internally rotate the foot and then bring it back into position. Bring the foot in and then back into position. And this time bring the foot in and see if you can reach your left hand to the outside of your left thigh and catch hold of that right foot. Once you've caught hold of that right foot, we're going to see about dropping the knee down towards the floor and then pull it back up. Drop the knee towards the floor and pull it back up. And then this time we're going to drop the knee towards the floor and see if we can let it come all the way down. And then once you've got that leg all the way down, now the left foot can step back down onto the ground, and then give a second to kind of scoot your bum around, scoot your ankles around, scoot your feet around, get nice and comfortable here. So hopefully you're feeling a little sensation through the tops of your quadriceps. Hopefully not too much sensation in your knee. So if you're feeling way too much sensation in your knee, let go of your handhold of your foot and make a little space between your calf and your back of your thigh. Take 3 nice big breaths here. Beautiful. When you're ready, start by lifting your left leg up. If you're still holding onto your foot, release your handhold, and then we're going to pull both knees into the chest, give a light little squeeze, and then release. We're going to take all of that action to the other side. So right leg is going to step up. We're going to keep a nice bent position with the left knee. Heel comes or foot comes in, and then bring it back into position. Bring the heel in and back. Bring the heel in, and this time see if you can reach your right hand, catching hold of the top of that left foot. Once you've got your handhold, drop the knee down slightly and pull it back up. Drop the knee down slightly and pull it back up. And this time, drop the knee down just as far as it will go. If you can find the floor, that's awesome. And then once you feel like you've got your knee down as far as it will go, then bend that right knee and set the foot down. Give a second to kind of scoot your bum around, make sure everything feels good and in a happy position. And then if it feels like it's just too much in the knee, release your handhold of the foot to create a little bit of space so your knee feels a little bit more comfortable. Take 3 nice deep breaths here. Nice. And then when you're ready, slowly and mindfully start by picking up that right knee. If you're holding on to your foot, go ahead and release, pulling both knees into your chest. Give yourself a nice light little squeeze. And then we're going to hold on to the left knee, send your right leg nice and long right into supine twist. So left knee is going to come over and across the body to the right. Left arm opens out nice and wide. Turn your head to the left. Take a nice big breath. Awesome. On your next inhale, pull your left knee back into your chest. Bring the right knee into meet, both knees into the chest, a light little squeeze. And then hold on to your right knee, send your left leg nice and long, supine twist to the other side. Right knee comes over and across the body. Right arm opens out nice and wide. Head turns to the right if that feels good. On your next inhale, pull the right knee back into your chest, left knee comes into meet, hug those legs in, give a light little squeeze, and then just take those knees, draw them in circles, go in one direction. And then draw your knees in circles, go the other way. Beautiful. And then from here, set your feet down, toe heel your feet to the outer edges of your mat, get a like wide position with the legs. Take a couple of windshield wipers with the knees, just to invite some softness back into the hips and back into the low back. And while you're here, just finding that softness, tune in and ask your body where would be your best Shavasana. Would it feel good to come to constructive rest? Would it feel good to take it into reclined cobbler's pose, maybe tucking some pillows under the outer edges of your thighs? Or would it feel good to take a more traditional shape? And when you feel ready, start to find your way into the position that'll work the best for you and find a little restfulness in your physical body. Once you've found a position that you can find a little stillness in, invite some softness into the outer edges of your skin. A soft heaviness into your muscles and your bones. And allow your breath to return to its natural rhythm. Start to bring your awareness back into your body. Become aware of the solidness of the floor beneath you. Gently wake up your fingers, wake up your toes. Invite some gentle movement back into your body and maybe deepen your breath. And then if it feels good to do so, maybe take a big good morning stretch like a yawn, arms stretch up and overhead, reach long from fingers to toes and take up a whole bunch of space on your mat. Nice. And then when you're ready, slowly and mindfully start to find your way up to a comfortable seated position. Come up in any way that suits your body best. Cool. And then as you come up to that seated position, just take a second to wiggle into your sits bones, find that nice tall seat, shoulders soften down away from your ears, and then allow your eyes to close down or just soften your gaze and then take a moment to tune in. Start by just noticing your physical body. And then see if you can tune in and notice the depth of your breath. Nice, and then shift your focus over to your thoughts and just see where your mind is at right now. And then when you feel ready, prayer hands together in Anjali Mudra and bow your head to your heart. Breathing in love and gratitude for yourself, for your mind, for your body, and the time that you take to take care of yourself. And breathe in a little extra love and gratitude that you can carry with you through the rest of your day and share with everyone you see. And gently lift up through the top of your head, gently open your eyes. I bow to you. Happy, happy Tuesday.